Hello, my friends. Gyro here, and I think it's time to explain why we're changing things up. I'm sitting here in the rig, and I have been peppered with a lot of questions since my announcement, both here on YouTube and on the sister channel on Twitch, that I am changing a lot of series for season 4. So, because of that, I wanted to answer those questions in this video so that you'll understand the thinking and things thereof. So I wrote down a whole list of questions and I'm going to answer those now. So the big one that many of you have been asking me is, why are you limiting GT3 participation? It really comes down to three things. The first is a lot of people are doing GT3. It's a saturated discipline on Twitch, whether it's ACC or iRacing. And there are so many other wonderful cars and wonderful series to showcase that I wanted my channel to be a little bit more differentiated again. It had kind of converged to kind of pack a groupthink, but now I'm taking it back out and showing you a wider assortment. The second is, and to me, this is the biggie, is driving standards are just crap in GT3. You have so many drivers coming in that are treating the game like an arcade game instead of a simulation. And it's getting to the point where I have to say to iRacing, stiffen the incident system. I think it may be time to tighten that part up to stop uh, some of the poor driving that's going on in general. Because top split GT3 versus bottom split GT3, a lot of the times the bottom split is driving safely. The top split are driving like manic, rabid animals with no discipline, no racecraft. Just, I'm going to bump somebody out of the way if I can't get by them. And I'm not okay with that. That is not racing. That is glorified bumper cars. So that's the really the big reason the racecraft is terrible. But the third reason, which is kind of the secondary part of it, is the net code is so bad. Whether it's NASCAR, Formula 3, GT3, whatever series, the net code has suffered a degradation. Now, why that is, I don't know. But right now, net code is just very, very poor to where in a lot of situations, you really can't race at the limit because you don't know how the algorithm is going to interpret. So, why put not just my I rating, which last week I lost 150 points, and only 35 of that was my fault. The rest was all netcode on the road. On the oval, I lost 160 and my A license. A lot of it because of netcode, and a lot of it because of situational awareness. So it is a huge problem to where you see streamers are racing non GT3 things for a combination of the above reasons. Therefore, by transitioning to a league format, what's going to happen is we still get the GT3 fix, but because it's a league, it's automatically a higher standard. And being part of Snail's GT3 League on Sunday, the new Maradness Monday League, and Snail's Enduro on selected Fridays, now the only exposure I have to GT3 will be the endurance weekends, which I find that far more suitable to handle versus dealing with sprint races where too many people are looking at the good drivers and going, you know what, I'm going to go last to front and causing wrecks and getting wrecked and not taking some responsibility for their racing. So that's the biggie right there is yes, we are limiting GT3. So that led on to the follow on question, which is why did I choose the cars that I choose? So we've chosen the M8, the LMP2, Formula 3, and trucks for next season. So the trucks is straightforward. That's my favorite vehicle to race in NASCAR. It's just a lot of fun. So F3 is as a result of the F3 League on Fridays that I hope Jackknife continues. It's been a wonderful league and has given me a lot of confidence I can race with people. And you need that exposure, especially in open formula cars. The M8 is because by returning back to the European Sprint Series, it's a 60-minute race. And we've done a proper campaign in the RSR. We've done a proper campaign in the Ford GTE. We have raced a Corvette. The M8's kind of the last one out. And therefore, why not race it just because the challenge is there to learn how to set that car up, to drive it to the maximum. It's a GTE car, so there's no ABS. So I think it will suit my braking style a little bit more. And because I'm learning the LMP2, ESS makes it easier because it's now one fixed point to learn for a track. And knowing the GTE part of it, when I feel comfortable to go the full hour in the prototypes, I will already have the track and already know, okay, GTEs have these problems in these sets of corners, and therefore I'll have a leg up on a lot of the junior rated LMP2 drivers. So that's why it's time for a new challenge. Now, I want to show you a very interesting statistic that I found, and it almost influenced my decision. So this is the current week stats. This is last week's stats. And if you note in last week, what I'm going to draw your attention to is over here on the right. So you have max and peak. And so the numbers that you see are the number of drivers and the number of splits generated for peak, and then your maximum is the biggest on aggregate. And the big things I want you to notice is how well things that end in 4 are doing. And that's the IR04 and the GT4, both fixed and open. The very interesting series of this is that statistic GT4 Falcon Tire Challenge right here. That's an open GT4 series. And it was getting on the regular 3 splits. And it peaked out at 4. Now, Road Atlanta helped. But when you look at it consistently, the GT4s have been a great value add to iRacing. Here's the current for this week. And note, it's at Fuji, and both fixed series, Fuji and Suzuka, are doing better than the IMSA series at VIR, which is averaging 2 splits, and it's barely splitting at 41. And Mid-Ohio, which is 60, getting 2 full splits on the average. The max is 3 splits of 22. So there is definitely a move by some people to try to find more authentic racing. And because the GT4 cars are newer, and I think that's a big thing that can't be understated, they're newer, it almost swayed me to include either or of the F4 um, and or GT4. But because of my schedule this season, I chose, and some other considerations, I chose to do this instead. So that is what's influenced. And so, you know, addressing the regular schedule, yes, I will have a regular schedule, and I am ironing that out this week. Pardon me one moment. There we go. And so that's going to be on the Twitch channel. It's going to be defined. It's going to be in my Discord. I'm going to be in my Discord a bit more, but this will allow me to better utilize my time to maintain my duties with Full Tilt Lurtrum Motorsport, to hopefully see a resurgence with mountain trout racing concerns. Astute listeners will go, well, where's map racing in this? Right now, map racing is going through a major change. The team principal has decided to step down to focus on other projects and ventures. And because of that, I don't know if I'm going to continue as a feature streamer with map racing at the end of the season. This has been filmed right at the end of week 11 of season 3 to give you an idea of where that's at. So we're going to have a regular schedule and we're going to have better use of time and stuff like that. And so that leads to kind of the next couple of questions is, what are your goals? How are you expecting to improve? Well, for those unaware, we are upgrading a lot of things. So this rig is getting upgraded. We are changing from this 43-inch 4K TV to a 49-inch ultra-wide monitor, and it's going to have a separate mount. The rig is coming from Rock Solid Rig, so this is going to be stiffer because you see that's one point of support, and when I drive bumpy tracks, it does this, and it's not, I'm not getting the performance. We also have some driving instruction set up so that I can improve as a driver. It's time to kind of, so we had kind of like the beginning course from Daniel Morad, and those lessons are still prevalent. Like this season, they started clicking. When I took the lessons, it didn't click quite as quickly as I wanted to. But this season, it's starting to make sense what he was telling me. But now I know I need to go back for not only remedial instruction, but furthering instruction. So that's in the queue. Um, but we're improving the stream, we're improving the equipment, and we're going to try to improve the driver. Not just with learning, but improved mental concentration. Now that I'm feeling better after my hospitalization, the lapses of concentration is something that I am working through, and there's some mindfulness techniques and training that I'm doing to help that. So, and I'm seeing benefits from that already. Um, the goals. Let's just talk about the goals. At the end of season 4, I would like to be 1750, and I would like my SR to be at least a 3 in A. I'm going to say those are my goals. Right now, I'm in the 1410s, but that's because I just hemorrhaged 150 points. So, the good Lord willing, if I have a decent week this week, I'll be back in like my 1550s where I've been kind of flattening out just a little bit. And now it's 200 points. That's 3 very good races or 4 good races plus a little bit more practice time, a little bit more emphasis since we know what we're driving. So that's as a driver. Individually, we now have the final bit, and that is team driver and all that. And that is with full tilt and mountain trout, making sure that we participate in um, Petit Le Mans in the 10 hours of Suzuka. Now, depending on what goes on in my personal life, at least one of those may not happen. So be aware of that. This season is going to have a lot of start stop because of the travel I'm doing and the people I get to catch up with. So um, that will be discussed in a separate video. So, but those are my goals. That's where I'm going to be focused on. There is a 2-week enforced break coming to me, and it starts at week 1 and week 2 of the season. I will be out of town attending to various matters, and that break probably comes at a very good time to kind of reset, enjoy some life, enjoy some things that I haven't been able to do because of the pandemic, and then get back at it. Still very much intending, the good Lord willing, being chief engineer for Full Tilt, to support Paul and Phil and Mike and all the other teammates and to help further our endurance program. That is something that's very important in season 4 is I want us to further improve our endurance program with the R8. We're sticking with the R8. So, but yeah, in synopsis, that those are all the answers to why I'm making all these changes. It is, the new way forward, part 2, because we had a new way forward part 1, and we got to that certain level, but now I want to take that next level and maintain it. So, I thank everyone for your support and comments and feedback and all that. We're improving in a lot of areas, and it's one of those to stay the course, and I know I can definitely accomplish both my individual goals and my team goals as well. So, looking at my list, I've answered everything. So we're within the 20-minute limit. Outstanding. But like always, make sure you like, follow, subscribe both here on YouTube, over on the sister channel on Twitch, and very excited for what's coming in season 4. So as always, my friends, take care of yourselves. Take care of one another. God bless.